In this video, I will show you the 5 mistakes that most beginner and even intermediate editors make that are ruining their videos. If you are new here, my name is Nat Jong Sala. I have been editing for over years and I have generated 6-figure through video editings, and I'm here to hopefully help you do the same. I guarantee if you learn to avoid these 5 mistakes, you will be ahead of 90% of editors out there. So let's start with the mistake number 1, not putting in enough efforts. I have talked to so many editors, I have talked to so many creators, and I asked them how long they put into editing some video. Some of them say 2 hours, some of them say 3 hours, but I just think that good editings or good video generally take a lot of time. For me, when I get started, I would say a years ago or 2 years ago, I spent like 8 hours, 9 hours every single day just going to editings, right? Of course, I understand that some of you guys have to work, all that stuff, right? But here's the thing, right? If you edit a video for 3 hours, 2 hours, you're trying to rush into it, trying to finish it as fast as possible, you might miss some small detail and you might not be able to learn something new in that video, because the purpose of actually editing the video, for me at least in the beginning stage, is to learn a lot of new skill. And when you try to learn some new skill, you are going to mess up, you are going to make mistake, right? And that's actually what takes time to learn. It's same thing with sports, right? Let's say you play basketball and you want to learn, let's say, some new skill in basketball. In the first couple of weeks, you're just going to suck, right? It's common that you're gonna suck in the first week. Let's say the second week you're gonna be like less suck, and you need to take time to learn new skill. And that's the same thing. That's why I said you need to put a lot of effort, you need to put a lot of time into editings, not only to make things good, but also to learn the new skills at the same time. Okay, and that's the mistake number 1. So let's move on to the mistake number 2. The mistake number 2 is using low quality assets. You need to understand that if you want to use free assets, which I do use sometimes, and I know most of you guys are using free asset because it saves money, but you also keep in mind that you want to pick the highest quality as possible, because the low quality asset can cheapen your video by like a lot. Because let's say the whole video, you're using high quality like asset to use high quality b-roll, and then somehow you decide to use some like low quality like icon, right? It's gonna ruin the whole video because it's gonna stand out. Okay, think about it. If you buy like a Ferrari, like a sport car, right, and then you drive it down and let's say you scratch the paint out, right? Let's say 80% of the paint is still good, but the scratch, right, it's gonna stand out no matter what, because most people always look for like negative stuff. So that kind of same thing with editings, to make sure that you use consistent high quality asset throughout the video. It might take a bit longer to actually find an asset, but it's actually worth the time, because you have to find one time, and then if the next time you want to use it, you can reuse the same thing over and over again. So make sure to use high quality assets. But before we move on to the next mistake, if you are a video editor looking to improve your skill and land your first clients, you might want to check it out, the Apex Editors. The Apex Editor is an editing community packed with resources and tutorials to help you level up. I have also created a module where I walk you through the exact step to sign your first clients. And if you join now, you have a chance to unlock a one-on-one call with me for free. All of this for the less than price of coffee per day. Plus, if you join and decide it's not for you, I will give you a full refund, no question asked. So there's no risk for you. The link is in the first description, so make sure to check it out. And now let's move on to the next mistake, which is the lack of consistency. I have seen so many editings on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and it's just not consistent, right? When I say consistent, it means that you're using the same color theme, okay? And what color theme I recommend is that you would use one additional color or one color of your choice. This could be literally any colors except black and white. It could be red, oranges, blue. And then once you pick that colors, then you would add it in with black and white to make this consistent color throughout the video. Kind of same thing with fonts as well. I don't want to mixing a bunch of fonts together. The maximum I would go for is only 2 fonts per video to make sure that the video is clean and easy to understand. And let's say also kind of same thing with assets, because the asset, I see so many people using the mix of icon, the mix of like, you know, realistic cutout images, the mix of AI generated images, right? Which is fine, but you also need to understand that you don't want to make this thing way too much, because then it kind of doesn't go together. You don't want to mix so many type of assets together, because that's gonna make the video look inconsistent and look really bad. And I also think it's really important, because when you get started with video editing, you wouldn't have like the most skill in the world. So by understanding how to make things consistent is gonna help you, you know, kind of get ahead of other editors, because some other editor I've seen that they have a good skill, but they don't understand the concept of consistency just yet. So to focus on consistency, I would say focus on colors. Make sure you use same color theme throughout the video. Focus on the fonts. Make sure you use the same fonts throughout the video. Maximum using 2 fonts, because 3 fonts is like it's just getting a little messy. And the third one would be the assets, right? The asset type, make sure you use consistent asset type. It could be icon, could be realistic cutout, but don't try to mix it too much asset type together. And the last one I would say would be background, right? The background of the editing, it could be a great background, it could be some solid color background, it literally could be texture background, but make sure to don't mix this thing together, and make sure you use consistent, right? Because it's not only make the video look better, it also saves your time, because you can just make the assets or make the background or the text one time, and then you can reuse that over and over again. Just have to think about something new, okay? And I want to add one more thing into it, is also the editing style, right? In one video, it should only contain one editing style. It shouldn't be the mix of like 5 editing styles together, because it might look cool for you because you're a video editors and you want to see a lot of editings, okay? But for the audience, right? For normal people, they feel like what the hell is going on here? They don't understand about all these things going on, like different style, you know, mixing together. So make sure to stick with one style, and your video would look a lot better when it comes to consistency. And the next mistake is the linear keyframe. And I get it, right? I get it. There is a time and place that you want to use linear keyframe, but most of the time I always want to apply some sort of speed ramp into the keyframe to make sure the movement look a lot more natural, right? Because if you think about it, linear keyframe is that they just started, let's say, let me use some example. So let's say we want to keyframe this AirPod Pro, right? Let's say with linear keyframe, it starts from like 0 and then just accelerate to 100 right away like that. But when it comes to if you speed ramp a little bit, it could start slow and go faster like that at the end, or it could actually start fast and slow down at the end, right? And it just helps make movement a lot easier. If you think about car, when the car start or stop, it doesn't go from like 0 mile per hour to like 60 mile per hour right away. It's actually slowly ramp it up from 0 mile per hour, 20 mile per hour, 40 mile per hour, and then eventually get to 60 mile per hour, right? That's how everything works, because energies always need some time to actually, you know, generate it, okay? So to make things look a lot more fluid, a lot more smooth in your video, make sure to use some speed ramp, and it's quite simple. And I will make sure to make the video teaching you guys how to do just that in probably this month, hopefully. You know, I trying to push out, I have been trying to putting as much as video as possible, so you guys can actually learn and actually implement the skill sets, and, you know, hopefully land your first clients, okay? And now it's time to the last mistake that I see a lot of people do, especially the beginners or intermediates, right? Which is too much editings. Okay, it's not confusing. You guys are editors, you know, like you might ask me what is too much editing. Too much editing is you just basically spamming animation, spamming transition, spamming this flashy stuff. And it's cool, right? It's cool if you want to impress an editors. That is definitely working, because I seen some of it and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But when it comes to working with clients, when it comes to working with people who actually want to build that brand, right? They don't like all of that. They don't like a bunch of flashy editing, because they don't like to be the guys who is known as, oh, this guy got cool editings, okay? No one want that except, you know, video editors want that. So just have to understand that by you spamming a lot of animation, it might be cool, but have to keep in mind that, hey, normal people actually watch this video. When I say normal people, I meet the people that don't edit the video. So just make sure to tone down a little bit, don't try to spam too much. And I think for me, I always ask myself, why would I do this? Why would I do that? Why would I add this animation? Why would I add this transition, right? So when you ask yourself that question, it kind of stop you and allow you to think a little bit of why would I add this one, right? And then if you can't really come up with like a clear answer of why would you add that, except from it just look cool, then you might not even need to add that at the first place. Because when it comes to editings, I usually think about it as a communication to the audience, right? It's like visual communication. You want to use your editings to show off some complex ideas, to show off some topic to the audience, and they can actually see you editing and understand it easier, not just trying to confuse them with all this animation, right? But that basically it's for the mistake that I see a lot of people doing. And if you avoid all of this mistake, I guarantee you will land your first client in no time. Also, if you want to learn how to edit like Eman Gatsi, I have made a full 2-hour tutorials where I go over every small details. Just click the video right here.